Every year, Dr. Yoder, a professor at UC Denver, takes a group of students to this beautiful place to help out the people. They work with Rigoberta Menchu's organization. Who is she and what does she do?
She took her Nobel money and she started an organization that helps indigenous groups in Guatemala, and she helps them. There's three main pillars to her organization. Education, meaning education and citizenship, because most indigenous populations have been suppressed, that they don't really know how to be citizens and how to use their rights. The second pillar is health, mostly women and children's health. And then the third one is actually education of women. And so what we do, we're really lucky in that we go down there and we spend time.
What do you do in her organization?
What we do while we're there is basically anything that anything that they want us to do. From some students teach English, some students teach computer classes, some students, if their Spanish is really good, they teach peace education. Everybody helps in the kitchen. We also do a lot of cleanup, like we teach the students there in Guatemala about litter and not to litter. We also do some work around animals, because there's a lot of stray dogs, and so we sort of are trying to help the community with their stray dog problem. And we build furniture and we plant gardens. So I mean, that's just an example. Every year it's whatever is needed. Every year it's whatever's needed. They tell us.
More specifically, what do your students learn about hunger?
Interestingly enough, they are amazed at what Carmen, who is the Guatemalan woman who does all the cooking, Carmen and Myra, there's two of them. The students are generally amazed at how much they can prepare and give the amount of food they can prepare for so little money. And they use nothing but fresh ingredients, and they tend to buy what's least inexpensive, what costs the least in the market that day. And so every day they make a snack for the students and the students at their school, and that's about 200. So it's pretty amazing how much they can feed students. And then they also try and make healthy snack, because the students are being very affected by American diet, and they're starting to buy like salted snacks and candy. No. Yeah, so they try and make sure that they have healthy snack. Interesting is they will often have events. People will rent out what they call their all-purpose room, and they will make lunch for particular organizations and groups that have their meetings there. And they know which groups. Oftentimes women will come to these meetings, women and men will come to these meetings and bring their children, because they know that they can get a little bit of food. And so what Carmen does is she makes everybody a plate. Obviously they're getting paid, it's a catered event, but Carmen will make a plate of Guatemalan food, and she'll, at the very end, but just before we serve it, she gives about 5 or 6 tortillas, which is a lot of tortillas. And her reasoning for doing that is so that the children will have something to eat, and so that the parents have something to take home to the children. Because she's very conscious of the malnutrition and the lack of food in her community. So the students, the students see all this, and they start asking questions, and then we explain to them what's going on. So they get a real good look at what hunger looks like in Guatemala.
Did you ever encounter anyone who was malnourished? If so, how did it affect you, and what did you learn from it?
Here's how I've encountered it. Guatemalans are small people, and they're round. The women are round. So people don't look malnourished in the traditional appearance that we have from starving children in Africa. And actually, malnourishment is kind of hard to see, but because we get to know the people in the town who are selling all the tchotchke stuff, trying to make a living off the streets, and they usually have children with them, and that's where you see the malnourishment. Last year, and the last 2 years, there's this woman who has a little boy, And she goes around selling keychains. And of course, the students all buy keychains from her because they think her little boy is so cute. But if you look really closely, his eyes go different directions, and he doesn't have any shoes, and he's probably got a mental disability. I mean, that's me speaking in American speak. He's probably has birth defects because she was malnourished during pregnancy. And so that's often where you see it. You see it in the children.
Do you think the best solution would be to reduce hunger in Guatemala?
If I were God, no, let's see.
Feed pregnant women.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the is to get food to children the first couple years of their life, and to get food, good food to women who are pregnant, and just get health care. Bottom line, just get health care to pregnant women, because most of them don't ever see a doctor their entire time that they're pregnant, because many of them live up in the hills in small villages, and they just can't get to a doctor. So I think one of the main ways is health care, to both maternal health care and to children. And of course what we're learning, there's a great article, well, I guess it was in Time magazine a couple weeks ago, about the brain development of children from birth to like 2 years old, and how that is so incredibly important to future development. And so I think that if we can get it to small children and pregnant women, we would do a lot.